Today we're going to talk about a variation of the deadlift. This is an asymmetric kettlebell lift which mimics a stone lifting exercise that you see in the Highland Games. For those of you who aren't familiar, the Highland Games is kind of like the Olympics of Scotland. There's a bunch of guys in kilts doing crazy exercises like throwing telephone poles and throwing stones, throwing kettlebells, a bunch of stuff normally done in kilts, which is always fun, and then normally done outside. You can't do a lot of this stuff inside or you'd destroy the world. The exercise we're going to do today is a preparatory exercise for a classic stone lift. There are a bunch of versions of stone lifting throughout history. You have Basque stone lifting. You have all the famous lifting stones that are all over Europe, usually at a crossroads. A stone will have a specific name and people will be able to lift it. There's a bunch of different techniques for this, but there are some stones which have chains with iron circles bolted into the top, and you step over the stone and you lift it straight up. Super cool, right? Barbells are great, but stone lifting is way more fun. Barbelling is brand new. Think it's 100 years old at the max, right? The original barbells were just train axles with wagon wheels on them and everything else that guys who are already super strong from stone lifting would lift as feats of strength in the circus. Barbelling has evolved over time into Olympic lifting, which is one of the best forms of training that you can do, but it's really hard to find an Olympic lifting platform and a good Olympic lifting coach. CrossFit has made that more accessible to almost everybody in the world because they are the ones who really popularized making Olympic lifting available to everybody, not just to collegiate or professional level athletes. But before that, there was stone lifting. I still spend a lot of time in the middle of nowhere. Stone lifting is still something I enjoy, but if you don't have some of the fancy stones to lift, some of the named stones, then there are versions of kettlebell lifts that you can do. Let's start at the beginning of the idea. One of the most basic kettlebell deadlifts that people can do is the suitcase deadlift, which is one of the most useful. Feet straight ahead. Pick up a heavy kettlebell, squeeze your glutes, straighten your legs, square your shoulders, go down and up. Kettlebells normally fall exactly in the range of luggage that you can check on a plane. So it's a super useful exercise to do. Build up to, say, a suitcase deadlift with 24K and build up to about 50 reps non-stop without putting the weight down. 50 reps non-stop. If you have more kettlebells, you can start to do just an outside double suitcase deadlift. No turnout, feet pointed straight ahead. Stand all the way up, squeeze your glutes, touch all the way down, squeeze the glutes, touch all the way down. Once again, build up towards sets of 50. Kettlebells are much lighter than barbells, but they excel at training strength endurance, a mid-weight for a long period of time. This next variation, the stone lifting variation, mimics standing over a stone, having one hand in front, one hand behind our body, which is going to put us in rotation. I've normally seen this set up with an L shape in the legs. Instead of 2 feet pointed straight ahead, they are stepping over the stone, one leg in front, one leg behind, get the hands where they need to be. This is going to put our spine in rotation already. If you're not used to rotation weightlifting, go down in weight. This tends to be difficult for a lot of people who are gym guys because they're not used to this extension of the spine. One side of the spine is different than the other side of the spine, which means the lift is different. One leg in front, one leg behind, 2 hands, stand all the way up. Track down, stand all the way up, track down, stand all the way up. This exercise is really fun to do in strength training numbers in the beginning, sets of 3 to 5, so that people can figure out how to do this loaded rotation. Step up to the other side. If you train one side, you should train the other side. Step back with the other leg, same idea. 2 palms face down, get down, stand all the way up, straighten the legs out at the top, squeeze the glutes, touch down, stand up, lock the legs, get down, stand up, lock the legs, and get down. Back to center, change sides. This allows you to stack a bunch of volume up. You do a set on one side, top of set 1, You set up for the other side, bottom of set 1, do sets of 3 to 5, and then start to add sets. Top of set 2, bottom of set 2. When you're moving your feet, think of that as a reset. Instead of just doing 1 set of 50, think about doing 10 sets of 5 on each side. It's an old school trick that allows you to count much better and to learn to go for longer. The world is not square. Everything in the gym is square. Barbells move in a straight line with your body square. Leg press, your body is square. Pull-ups, your body is square. If you do blue-collar job or you work on a farm, you will find that nothing is square. When you move a bale of hay, you pick it up from one side, you move it to the other. If you're a roofer, you're on an unlevel surface, moving a weight from one side to the other. Everything in the real world tends to have some type of rotation. So I prefer to train with rotation because I don't spend a lot of time in gyms. Kettlebells allow you to train wherever you are. You throw them in the back of your work truck, you take them out to the park, you train on the job site. If you're a Badlands firefighter, you train on the fire line. It allows you to take your training with you. There are 6 basic exercises in kettlebells: the swing, the clean, the press, the squat, the snatch, and the get up. But there's an infinite amount of complexity. You can always find new angles to train. You can change the weights, you can change the volume. You can never be done. The most important thing in fitness is consistency. The way that you get consistency is to not get bored. The way that you not get bored is to have variation. In order to get variation, you have to have knowledge. You have to understand what, why, and how to train. This exercise is a fun exercise. If you want to start stacking 2 or 3 kettlebells in each hand, you can start to rack the weight on this all the way up. You can challenge your grip. You could even do this exercise with a barbell. You're just running the barbell front to back instead of laterally, and work on this idea as well. The gym is fun and awesome, and you should go to it for several years of your life. It gets you out of the house, it gets you moving, it provides community, but you also should train on your own, outside, in the middle of nowhere.